Good morning, virtual villagers. My name's Kate from What Kate Made. Welcome along to this session this morning. Today we're going to be making some very simple but very pretty handmade Christmas cards. I just want to apologise in advance for any extraneous drilling and banging noises, but I've got roofers in today. So what we're going to do, I'll show you here's one I made earlier. We've got 3 different designs to show you. Hopefully I'll get them all in. The first one is a little, the light's not very good today. It's little reindeers. Now with these I've used pipe cleaners for their antlers. I think they're, on my example, they're a little bit big, so I might do them a bit smaller. The little faces are made with thumbprints, so paint and a thumbprint. So this is a great one for the kids. However many kids you've got, you can put that many reindeers and get them to use their thumbprints, or do the whole family, or if it's grandchildren. So you can see that. Oh, that's better. You can see them better now. They've got little googly eyes, little red noses, and I've just handwritten a greeting along the bottom. I'm trying to handwrite my greetings this year, so I think it's a little bit more personal. So that's the first one. The second one is let me turn it towards the light, a Christmas tree. Now, this is made with metallic marker pens with a template. And again, it's very, very simple. Got this lovely crisscrossy, sort of random crisscrossy design, little star at the top, handwritten greeting. And the other one is, it's Christmas trees as well. I'm just getting, it's got lots of glue strands on it. But so this one is made with card triangles, and then I've used washi tape. And this is all at different angles. This is, some of it's metallic, some of it's not. So it's to represent a little pine forest of trees. You don't have to do it with washi tape. You can use ribbon. You can use strips of coloured papers. You can use anything. But again, it's very simple to make. It's very attractive. I haven't added a greeting to that one yet, but I will do across the bottom there. So those are the 3 that we're going to do today. So what you're going to need, obviously, is card. Now I've got a selection of coloured cards here. I've got A5, so that would make a smaller greeting card like this one. You would fold it in half to make start with an A5 piece, and I've got bigger pieces, A4 size pieces to make the bigger card, the bigger card that way. So you can fold them. You can use them landscape, or you can use them portrait. Now, I've also got, so that's the card. I've also got various implements. I've got a craft knife and a steel rule. That's what I'm doing my cutting with today, but you don't have to use scissors. I just find that's a little bit more accurate. I've got a bone folder, which we've used before, which is great for creating a really good crease. My glue gun. What else have I got here? I've got a selection of marker pens. This is my box of washi tapes. The one I'm going to this one was greens. I'm going to do the one I'm going to demonstrate is going to be blues. Let me just inch my tray closer. I've got a few sequins, stars and things. I've got various pipe cleaners, glues, paint for the thumbprints. I did try using a marker pen for the thumbprint. I don't know whether you can see, I've still got it on my thumb, so don't use a marker pen. So all my equipment's here. I have prepared slightly in advance because I do this, and I've cut out my templates for all the trees. So they're just card triangles. As you can see, you've been using up my Amazon packaging. I am going to briefly demonstrate the way to draw a triangle and cut it out. I like to do mine with card because I keep them and use them again. So I think we'll start with the cute little reindeer one. So I'm just going to rearrange my tripod so that you can see my working space. So for this, I'm going to use my dark brown pen, paint. I need a little something to use as a paint palette. Now I save these. These are the little cartons that cooked meats come in from the supermarket. You want one that's got a flat surface. The ones with the dimples don't work half as well. We're very dark today. I think that's because I've got scaffolding outside. Let me just see if I can adjust. No, I can't really adjust the... Anyway, you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So let me just point the camera down at my working space. Just bear with me a second. Can you see my workspace? Yep, there we go. Right, so I'm going to try and bring up your bring you up live. Doesn't always like to cooperate with me. There we go. Right, we're up live. So you can see, I can see your comments. So wherever you're joining us from, give us a shout. Say hello, tell me what the weather's doing where you are. It's beautiful here. Yesterday it was horrendous, and today it's beautiful. Right, so we're going to use the cream card. Don't know what's happened there. It's got a little bit of a sticky bit on it. There we go. And I'm going to fold it in half. So this is going to be a small card. And I'm going to use my, where's it gone? My bone folder to get a really good crease. So this, although it's called a bone folder, this one is actually plastic, but it's a traditionally called a bone folder. So that's our base card. Now I'm going to, you only need a tiny bit of your paint. And I discovered yesterday it's better to dab it onto your thumb rather than put your thumb in it, because you get too much paint on. So I'm just going to put my tiny little bit of brown paint there. I'm going to use a bit of blue roll to just get the paint off. Use a paintbrush, doesn't have to be. And then I'm going to just dab it on my thumb. You want a bit on, but not too much. And you want it to be a fairly round shape. So now I found the thumbs work better that way, with your nail pointing towards the bottom of your card. And I'm going to do it, I need to do it near the bottom. I need to leave a space for the greeting, but I need to have enough space. That's not worked very well. Let me get a bit more paint on. You need to have enough space for the greeting at the bottom, but also enough space to get the antlers in. Let me just redo that. Now what you can do if you're doing it with children is do it on paper and then cut them out. And that way the children's, it's easier for you to get it all to get it spaced where you want it, because the children might just dab all over the place. So that's my second one. That's a bit better. I'm doing 3. Now, from my experience, you need to wipe this off your thumbs straight away. That last one just needs a bit more. The first one a bit more, because it acrylic paint dries quite quickly. This is acrylic, and it does. It is then difficult to scrub off. So as you can see, I'm wiping my thumb quickly, and also I don't want to get brown paint on everything. Unfortunately, I can't dip off to the bathroom and wash it because I'm talking to you. So that's got most of it off. So there's our 3 little reindeer heads. Now let me find my other bits and pieces I need for my reindeer. So these are googly eyes. And I'm going to just show you. There's all sorts of different sizes in here. And I found for this job, the smaller ones. So these are the smaller ones with a slightly bigger pupil. So we need 6. 1, 2, 3. I should have got these out before I started, shouldn't I? It's 4, 5, and where's another one there? 6. Okay. So I love these.
I think they're so cute. I use them a lot for things for children because they look cute. I'm going to try and get them back in the bag because otherwise they'll all be in the hoover. They're not going to cooperate, so I'll just pop them to one side. Okay, so we've got our googly eyes. We also need our pipe cleaners. For the antlers, you don't have to use pipe cleaners. You could use a marker pen and just draw the antlers on, but I like the pipe cleaners. And we also need some little red pom-poms for the nose. So my Christmas stash is coming really handy this week. I like to keep it all in one box, and then I just need to get that box out when Christmas comes. There we go. That's our little red pom-poms. So now all we need to do is glue. So, oh, we do need to make the antlers. I'll show you that in a minute. Just get my glue stick warming up. Okay, I've got a nice handy cordless glue gun now, which is great. Let me just put the eyes to one side. So I think I'll start with showing you the antlers. So we're starting with the pipe cleaner. We want to make 3 little V shapes, and I always cut my pipe cleaner with, I'll just pop that up there. I always cut my pipe cleaner with these pliers. So we want about 2-inch lengths. So I'm going to cut 3 2-inch lengths. Like that. And then we're going to cut some shorter lengths. So then you make these into like a V shape, like that. It's not very even. Let's do it again. Like that. Bit of fluff there. Then we're going to cut some shorter length, and then around each of these upright bits of antler, we'll just twist it around like that, so we get a sort of sub antler. What do they call them? Little branches off our antlers. So I'm just going to quickly do that. It's very simple, and the kids could do all of this if you're doing it with children. Just point them up. We're getting a bit of extraneous fluff, so they're about the right size. They're fine. So I'll quickly do the others. Bend them into a V, and then from back. Oh, everything's sticking together. A lot of static around today. And then I will cut 4 smaller lengths for the branches on the antlers. Everything's fluffy and painted today. Yesterday when I was practicing, I always like to do, well, obviously do an example to show you. Oh, I ended up covered in paint and glue and marker pen and everything. It was very messy. And I got an industrial injury. I cut myself with my scalpel. So not surprisingly successful results from quite a few little mishaps. So there's my 3 sets of antlers. Okay, my glue will have warmed up by now. Now these little eyes can be tricky because they skitter away from you. So I've discovered yesterday a pair of pliers works wonders. So all I'm going to do is with my glue, you don't have to use a hot glue gun. You can use PVA or glue stick. As I always say to you, I do this for speed of drying. Just put a little bit of glue along where you want the eyes to be. It does set quite quickly, so you do have to move quite quick. Oh, they're all skitting away. You do have to move quite quickly, which I'm not doing at the moment. There we go. Put the eyes on. That one might need re-securing, I think, because it took me so long to get the glue on. Again, a little bit of glue. You can hear this is really good. It's got a little motor in it, that Sends the glue out. This is much easier when I'm just doing it on my own. I'm less clumsy. I suppose technically I am on my own. Oh, come on, come on. This is nearly as painful as watching me try and peel the backing off something. Let's try doing it. That's it. Hopefully they'll stay stuck. Now those two are kind of stuck together, so that's handy too. There we go. So that's our eyes. That one's got a bit. Then the noses just go in the same way. Now, I know there was only one reindeer. One of Santa's reindeers had a red nose. However, I only have red pom-poms, so they all have red noses. And then the last bit is just the antlers. Actually, you might be better putting a bit of glue on the back of the antler. As well as the card, because it's difficult to get it in the right place if you've not got it already positioned. Now I've made these antlers shorter than the one I did yesterday, and I think they've worked much better. So a little dab of glue on the back of where the branches are, a little dab of glue on the top of the reindeer's head. Don't worry about the stringy bits of glue because they will come off. When they're dry, you can just pull them off. So there's our card. Pull up the stringy bits of glue off. Now I've got for this project, well, for this Christmas actually, I bought new marker pens. They weren't expensive, but they seem to work really, really well. So I'm just going to handwrite the greeting. I normally don't because my handwriting's not very good, but I have been practicing doing a bit of calligraphy. Not that I'm going to do that today. So it has neatened up my handwriting a bit. So I'm going to put Merry Christmas. And I think with the handmade card, the handwritten greeting sort of goes very nicely. Could have been a bit neater, the spacing, but there we go. So that's card number 1. So we'll move on to the next one. Now, I said before I'd already cut out my templates, my triangle templates. This is the one we'll do next, which is made with all the marker pens, the nice sort of metallic marker pens that I bought. I've got copper, gold, silver, and I think I've got a rose gold one in here somewhere. I can't find it just now. Anyway, we'll go with those 3. So for this, I'll show you how I cut this template out, because this is a bigger one than the ones I use. This is the biggest one I use. Let me find the right piece of card. I just use old packaging, old card packaging for all my templates. And the way you do a triangle, you know how to do a triangle, but where's my pencil gone? There we go. Oh, I found the other marker pen. Start with central point. Now my cutting board has inch markers on it, so it's quite handy. That's right at the middle of the cutting board, so I'm going to draw my line, and I can't remember how long I made that one. 5 inches. So I'm going to draw this line down, this central line down 5 inches. Can we see that? So like that. Actually would have been better doing it at an edge. I'm going to cut a big hole in the middle of the card now, and it's 4 inches that way. So what we do is the central line, we want 4 inches, so we put the central line on 2, and this just gives you an equilateral triangle. Then you just join up the dots, so your point's right at the center. Like that. And then I cut this out with a craft knife, just because it gives you a nice sharp line. You just have to be careful with the craft knife. So I'm going to cut this out. Now what I did yesterday was I then cut a template out of paper to stick over the card, but I'm just going to use the one I made yesterday. I just wanted to show you the method of cutting out the drawing and cutting out the triangles so that they're nice and sharp. Right, so that's my not gone right through it. Didn't get enough pressure on there. Let's try that again. It does very quickly blunt your scalpels cutting card. So then we just take out our template. So that we've got that then forever until it, now this one I used the black card, and I thought this time instead I would use a dark green just because it's quite foresty. And again, I'm going to fold. This has got a little bit of a texture on it as well. I'm going to fold it in half. Take my button folder and just sharpen up that crease. Keep getting strange noises from upstairs. So that's my card ready. This is the paper template I used yesterday. It's situated right in the middle of the piece of paper. So what you want to do then is just fasten it to your card. So you can use paper clips, you can use low tack masking tape. My board is magnetic, so I've got these little magnets that I just put at the corners, and it holds it right through both layers of paper. So it holds it reasonably steady. You want it steady so that you don't get you get a nice sharp edge. I've got a shorter ruler here for drawing with the lines because the longer one's too hard to handle. And then you just draw your lines. So you just angle you could go over just randomly go over. I don't do random, as you can tell. It's starting to get very even looking. And just keep doing it with the different colour pens. Until you get a reasonably full triangle. Oh, that didn't work. When you're doing this with these pens are just marker pens. They're not acrylic, like paint pens. I have some paint pens as well. But one thing I found is it's a good idea every so often to just wipe that edge so the paint doesn't go on to something else. The marker pen doesn't go on to something else. So that's the gold. This is more like the sort of rose gold coppery one. And you just keep going over until you've got a reasonably full triangle. It's starting to come now. You want them crossing over and zigzagging. Just a few more spaces that I've got. So again, this is fairly simple. This is quite kid friendly as well. And it just gives a nice effect because you're getting really sharp edges because you're using the template. This is more of a bronzy colour. And I think that'll do. So then you take your template off. Oh, we're cooking with gas today. We're getting through these quite quickly. And that's your template. And that's really, really cute. I like that. It's simple but effective. This is what we're doing today. Simple but effective. Now, to finish the tree off, I've got some gold and silver stars. There's a red one lurking in there as well. These are like a sequin. So I'm just going to put that on the top. A little bit of glue. Again, don't worry about the stringy bits of glue, which you won't have if you're using... Now, you could add a little trunk. I didn't before, but again, you want to get the edges nice and straight. So I'm just going to leave that. Again, I'm going to put a greeting on. So I think we'll use one of these coppery pens this time. We'll put Happy Christmas. There we go. Simple as. So I've just realised that I've got my camera upside down and you're all upside down, but it doesn't matter. Or I'm upside down, you're not upside down. So that's number 2. Now, the third one will take us a little bit longer. So this is the striped tree one. As I said before, I've used washi tape, which is like a Japanese... I'm just getting rid of all these strings of glue. It's a Japanese paper tape. It's semi-translucent. It's sticky, not super sticky. So if you misplace it, you can peel it back again. You won't be able to do that too many times, though. And it comes in various beautiful patterns. I've got built up a little bit of a collection, not over time, because you can buy them in packs of coordinating colours, and so you get over time you can get quite a collection going. Now, as I said, I've chosen blues and blacks for this one and silvers, and they come in varying widths as well, which is nice. So I've got different widths of silver. I've got some nice bright blues. I've got that sparkly blue, and I've got some darker ones. Might not use those two when I'm looking at them. They don't really coordinate to me. So we'll go with these. Right, we're going back now to our card templates. We're not going to use the bigger one. It's a little bit big for that size of card. We're going to use smaller ones. I've made all of these in the same way. Made them different shapes. So I've done a tall, thin one, and I've done a sort of medium-sized one. They're covered in brown paint from yesterday. I've done a thinner, shorter one, and I've done a sort of squat one. That's almost like a equilateral triangle. I don't know geometry very well. So what we need to do now is cut out from our templates. We've cut out these card triangles. You can just use any card that you've got bits left over. I had a bit of this green left over from yesterday, so I'm going to use this, and we're just going to draw around our template. Where did I put my pencil? There it is. And then cut them out. I mean, if you're not bothered about keeping a template, then you could just cut them straight out and use them. But I wanted to be able to do these again. So if you were going to do several cards like this, it would be easier to draw around your template than it would be to redraw the triangles every time. And the last one is my little short one, which I'm going to do. I'm going to turn that way up, fit it into. I love doing these, getting it so that you waste as little card as possible. I'm very much into not wasting things. So then you just cut them out. This is where it could get confusing now because I've lost my lines. I don't want to cut out the wrong lines. And again, I'm using the scalpel, but you don't have to. If you are using a scalpel, a metal rule is a really good idea because you can cut into the plastic ones quite easily. And I'm just going to take that score right up there, and that's triangle number 1. I've cut off the corner of that one. Never mind. We'll just adjust it slightly. That's because I was talking and not concentrating on my lines. That's triangle number 2. Again, with coloured card, I've collected quite a collection over the years. You buy it in mixed packs. I used to do a lot of scrapbooking, so I had quite a lot of pieces of card already. You buy it in mixed packs and then you end up with quite a selection. Now, this tree template, you don't have to do it with the washi tape. You can, got bits all over now. You could do it with just gold and silver card. That would be really nice. On maybe just a white background. Now, determining which pieces of the scrap are getting thrown away. Okay, so that's my triangles cut out. I'll just put my templates to one side so I don't use them by accident. This one, because I thought I might put it on, did I have on white or cream card? And I can't find the card I folded. Bear with me a sec. I thought I'd folded up a white card for it. Because I thought the blue would be nice on white. I don't know what I've done with it now. Bear with me. We'll use a different colour card. We'll use cream. No, can't remember where I put it. So this is our cream card. We're going to again use the full A4. Again, this has got a slight texture, slight hammered texture to it. So that's my base card. Pop that to one side while we do the trees. So the idea being, it's similar way to when we did random lines with the marker pen. We're going to cover this with the tape, and we're going to do it in different directions and different patterns. But I'm going to start with this nice sort of fish scale one, if I can find the end. There we go. Some of these I've never used. I've bought them. You know, when you go to Hobbycraft sale or something like that, and you see things in the sale, and you think, oh, I might use that. A lot of these have been packs like that. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm lined it up with the lines on my cutting board so that I can get a straight line. Once you've got one straight line, generally speaking, the rest follow. I'm just going to cut that with the scalpel. I'm sticking it to the board because we go along after and remove the excess, so we get a nice sharp edge again. Trying to find the end of that one. Washi tape is very thin, so when you lose the end, it's quite difficult to find. There we go. Is anybody else out there? I haven't got any, don't really have many comments up at the moment. Anyway, say hello if you're there. I'm going to leave a little gap because I'm going to overlap it with some of the metallic one, silver. So I'll put that over. So it varies then the width. As you go along, you can use the same tape again, but with a different width. So which one haven't we used? We haven't used this dark blue one. There's some nice stars on it. I'm going to put that there. So this one I'm doing with horizontal lines, but I'm going to do each one in a different direction. I'm trying to be random and not go back to doing it in a pattern. I don't want to do it in a pattern. It's very tempting. I can't. Right. So I'll put a line of that. Oops, that seems to be coming away from its backing. It might have been in the drawer quite a while, that one. Let's just make sure it sticks down. Take that bit away. Oh, I've maybe got 2 strips. That's what I've done. Okay. One of them's going to come away. Yep, there we go. That's better. I've got a double thickness by accident. It's sticking to my fingers now, so it's making life a little bit difficult. Yesterday I had bits stuck everywhere. I'm going to go again with this narrower silver. Now maybe I should put another colour in between. That's it. Put another stripe in between. How are we doing for time? It's not. I'm thrown by the time because I'm normally on at 11, but because I had to reschedule, me and my husband have been away because it was his birthday, and we didn't get back in time to do my usual Monday at 11 slot. So we're having it's a little bit different. I'm thrown by the time a bit, and I'll just finish that off with that silver at the top. I won't do all of these. I will just do one, and because basically they are the same. So then you just ease it up off your board or whatever surface you're working on, and then you just use your knife or scissors to just take off the edges. And the same at the other side. I try to get all those bits to one side because otherwise they end up stuck to me. And take that off. And that is your tree. When you turn it over, ta-da! Pretty. I might just do another one at an angle. We're getting a bit short of time now, but I'll do this one at an angle. Shorter bits at the corners, obviously. Then once you get the hang of it, you can go a little bit faster. You can overlap them if you want to have different bands of colour. Let's find the end of that again. There we go. Oops. Quite like this one. I can't find the end now. There it is. Is it? Yeah. Now, as I said before, if you don't have washi tape, you can use ribbons. You can use just strips of paper. If you've got the time for it to dry, PVA glue is fine, or glue stick. I don't have the time for it to dry, so I do prefer the tape. Well, I have time when I'm not demonstrating, obviously. What haven't we used yet? Silver. I use that narrow silver. I really like the effect I'm getting on these. I've not done it before like this, and I really do like it. I've done it before with ribbon, but the ribbon tends to, I don't know, takes a long time for the glue to dry, and it isn't as visually as quick to demonstrate. Which one haven't I used? I think I've used them all now. I'll go back to a bit of that turquoise one. I like that. And I might put that on the end there, then fill that gap with some silver. So that because if I overlap this wider silver, then the strips that I overlap it with get narrower and look slightly different. All right, so there we go. That's that done. So we're just going to find an edge, peel it up, and then we're going to cut these off. As you can see, it does. A scalpel works really well until you cut yourself. Please don't cut yourself. Bit of a health and safety warning going on there. Oh, there is a few of you out there. Irene, hi Irene. Hi Anna. Hope you're enjoying it. Irene's a regular. She watches me nearly every time I'm on, so that's nice. Right. So I've got 2 triangles, so we'll go with that for now. Where's my card? So I didn't use the glue gun for this because the glue gun does give a little bit of a bump. It's not completely flat. I used the glue stick, so I'm just going to glue stick the back of the trees. I did then have to put them under a weight to dry because they started to curl up a little bit. So I put them under a weight to dry. Now again, you want to leave room for your greeting and you want to make sure you've got room for your tallest tree. So that's my tallest tree. So I'm just going to use that as a marker because you don't want it going over the edge. So I'm going to put this one level with that one. And again, you don't want it going over the edge at that side. Give it a smooth down. And you can overlap them. So on the one I did yesterday, I've overlapped them so some look further back. So we'll just overlap that one slightly. This is good glue stick. This is it comes out blue. So if children are using it, they can see where the glue's gone. It's quite ingenious. See, that's already starting to peel up. It just needs a weight on it to hold it down while it dries. So I'm just going to overlap that one slightly because it's got the same 2 colours at the bottom there. And the final touch is a little silver star on top of each tree. Just wait while that glue warms up. And my stars. I've got glue all over my fingers. The stars are easy to get out. It's stuck together. Right, so a little bob of hot glue. I'm going back to the hot glue just because it's slightly quicker with the Ow, that's hot. That is hot. And then I will add the greeting, and I'll do the greeting in silver this time. And I'm going to put Season's Greetings. Seasons with an apostrophe. I'm not very good at grammar. Now what I'll probably do is put these trees on as well. Maybe just the one, or maybe like that. But we have run out of time now. So if you bear with me a moment while I just adjust my camera, then you'll be able to see me. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed that. Get you started in the Christmas spirit. I was just saying earlier, because my husband's birthday was this weekend, we don't start Christmas till after his birthday. So it's after his birthday now, so we can be Christmassy. Well, I'll be back. I've got another 2 sessions on Christmas crafts before the actual big day. I'm back on my usual Monday morning slot for the next one, which will be potato wreath making. Now it sounds intriguing. It's not a wreath made of potatoes, but made using a potato instead of florist foam for the centre of it. So that's something that we've been doing with my community garden club, and I think it's something like you would like as well. So that's my next one. Until then, enjoy this beautiful day if it's nice where you are, and I will catch up with you again soon.